hear you better than they can hear me.
Yeah, I'm pretty loud. I think this wireless thing is really working.
It's working really good. All right, hey guys, I see that we got about 17 people watching. There are about 23 popping in and out of here. I'm here at Preterism Pilgrim Weekend 2018. I almost said 2013.
Hey, you
I
know,
don't know why.
we're going back in time, right?
Yeah,
That's the theme.
Back to basics, right? But I'm here with Joe Vincent. Joe Vincent was me a couple of years ago, and
Yes.
for a few years prior to that, he did all the tech work and stuff for the Preterism Pilgrim Weekend. But now he is here as a listener,
right?
As a hearer of the
right,
word,
as a
instead
guest,
of a giver of the word.
Finally,
yeah,
exactly. I get to relax just a little bit. Yeah.
Joe, you tell us what you do for a living.
So I work for the government in my 9 to 5. I actually work for the National Nuclear Security Administration. We actually build components, non-nuclear components for a nuclear stockpile. And not to get too specific, I'd have to
shoot all of us.
Yeah, shoot all of you if you knew what I really did.
Really
yeah, right. But I have a very, very great job. I'm in quality control. That's really what I do in my 9 to 5 job. But I also on the side have a personal business, a private business that I'm developing and launching, and hoping that will grow as well, potentially, so I don't have to do the 9 to 5. Even though I like my job, I love what I do, and I'm really good at it. But
now, you've been doing this for years, and I'm guessing you had to take time out of your busy life to actually come and do this.
Yeah.
And kind of learn. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you went through, the hoops you jumped through to try and get this to work for Don.
Right. So I think it was maybe 2012 or 13. It was around that time that I first started helping Don with the live streaming, because he had always done the conferences and all that, and would always offer the DVDs. And I think it was around 2012 when I was talking to Don, and I told him, I said, it would really be great if we could offer this as an online live platform. YouTube was picking up, was becoming really big, and there were some other opportunities where you could really branch this message out, because ultimately the goal was to really branch out the preterist message and to just inform more people as broadly as we could. And we tried it a few different ways. We tried paid services and people to pay and opt in to watch, and really at the time it was because we were trying to protect. There's something flying around, something going on. But we were really trying to protect this this platform, because there was a lot of hijackers and people trying to come in and really cause chaos and break this message up and things like that. So at the very beginning we were kind of protective. But we just realized, regardless, we ultimately wanted to give this thing away for free. But anyway, so in the first couple of years, when I was doing all of this, I didn't have a really big video, audio background. I'm a techie kind of guy, but I'd never really done that side of it. Right. So I was just coming down here the first year with my laptop and just a couple of tools,
Right.
And I just figured maybe Don had all the equipment that he needed, and little did I know,
right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
He really didn't. And so he had his one studio cam the first year, so I was running down to Staples, because we're in Ardmore, right?
Yeah.
So in Ardmore they don't have a Best Buy. I think
Very
their Radio
small
Shack had closed down the year that I came down here, so
yeah.
they didn't have
that.
Right. So literally all they had was Walmart and Staples, and so that's kind of what I was really subjected to, trying to find equipment and things like that.
Yeah. So tell us. Obviously, this we offer it free here at Preterist Research through Preterist Research Institute.
Right.
We offer the viewing of the conference for free. However, there are costs involved.
Yeah.
Early on, you had basically nothing. So just out of estimation, what are some of the costs involved in just getting it going for the whatever quality you had to start with?
Well, so at the time, just for the streaming service was several $100s, really, to get a decent high definition streaming service going, right? And to be able to offer that at no cost, it was just a few $100s for that. But you also had to have a really good computer with a good processor that could process the stream in high definition, because that's a lot of information going through a computer, just to break it down dummy style, right? You also had to have a high-end graphics card, so that costs, a good graphics card, you're looking at $100 to $200 just for the card that goes in the computer, not to mention the computer itself, right, and the RAM and everything else. So, and then there were, to stream through a computer, through a laptop or through a PC, if it's not already built for streaming, right, and that's a really expensive computer to get one for that. If you want it to have the capability to stream, you have to get a converter, because when you think about a computer, when you attach an HDMI cable or something to the computer, it's designed and meant to output the signal to a TV or to a screen, right? So it's not meant to take a signal incoming and use that to stream, right?
Exactly.
So you had to get a converter box to convert that signal, and that was another, you know, $100-200 or whatever for the converter, right? So you have to get the computer that'll process it, the graphics card that will you know be able to handle that type of high def signal. You had to get the converter box, you know, just to convert the signal for a stream for output, right? And all. So that's just the video signal, right?
Exactly.
Then you've got, you know, if you want multiple screens like we have now, you know, you've done a lot more than I did since the first days, right? But we've got multiple Logitech quick cams that are high definition for a really great quality to offer multiple screens and shots and views and things like that to really give the audience a great presentation. You've got your boom mics and your pop little protector over here, and your pop filter and your mic arm, you know, your extender and all that. And you've got multiple screens and computers to handle all the different things. You know, monitoring the chat room in one, and monitoring the split screen on the other, and then monitoring, you know, the presentation up on the board on another. So there's a lot to really work through, right?
Yeah, there is.
And if you don't really know this going in, you're like, oh, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. But no, it's really a huge undertaking, right? Yeah, and I was learning this on the fly, you know, 1 year, and so the bad thing was, you know, in 2013, I came down to start I think it was 13, to kick this thing off with the live stream. And, you know, you think, oh, okay, I just need this for next year because I can't just go to the store and buy it, right? It's not accessible. I'm in Ardmore. It takes an hour and a half to Dallas and another, you know, hour and a half to Oklahoma City. So you can't just drive down the street, you know? So it's
especially when you get here on the day of.
The first year, the first year I was here on Thursday, right? And I was here the whole, just sweating every minute, you know, trying to get this thing working right up until the second of the launch. And we still had audio issues the first year. You know, learning how to correctly get the audio set up and input into the laptop. Anyway, so and the next year you'd come a little bit more prepared, thinking that you had what you needed, and then you find out, no, we need more. We're not. This is really can't handle the HD signal or whatever.
New innovations come with new problems. So what happens is you have a new idea, and you have a device that can probably give you something more for the stream, and then all of a sudden you realize that creates another problem that you need something else for to fix that. And so by the time we're ready to stream like we're at right now, and I'm still kind of nervous as we build up to 6:45 here when we start streaming the presentation completely, I'm still kind of wondering, praying that my computer's not going to, get a power problem or a power issue, and then all of a sudden the stream stops or the internet drops out. In fact, this year we're not even hardwired to a landline. We're actually using the wireless here. I was there.
Oh, you're not connected to the port over there? Oh, see, I ran the cable from the wall all the way over.
We started out with it last night, or yesterday when we got here, and it was working just fine. And then he went to adjust it to tape down the wire, and the Ethernet port, or the signal from the Ethernet it just went out. It didn't come back. We unplugged it, plugged it back, and I was like, oh, don't tell me I'm going to have to use wireless, because wireless is less, I don't know if you know, but it's less reliable than a hardline connection. However, they were, the convention center, thankfully, had upgraded their internet, and now we have, and if you know internet speeds at all, we're at 250 down and 17 up. And 10 is usually all you need for a stream, but it is a convention center, so if you have other conventions going
tying
on
up the signal, multiple people using the Wi-Fi,
So, I'm crossing my fingers that nothing goes wrong and eats up the Wi-Fi. Most people are downloading if they're in the audience, so I don't have to worry about that.
Most people are too busy watching Don and the speakers to worry about being able to get on the internet, so that's typically the case.
And there may even be people in the chat that are actually sitting in the audience during the presentation, watching the chat and the live stream while the presentation's going on, and they'll participate in the chat. So that's all download signal, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, so it's expensive. I mean, you started out, it was costing you not just hundreds of dollars, but thousands of dollars just to start out.
And your setup is so much more intricate than what mine even was. You know, we only had 1 to 2 cameras, and it wasn't a split screen. It was just offering 2 different angles with 2 different computers and 2 different streams. And the way you got it set up, I mean, between all the different video cams and the professional studio camera that Don has, actually has 2 of them, but the one he uses for this conference. And
we're not using his cameras for this, so
but if he was, because he has been, so that kind of thing. But even with your 3 is it 3 cameras?
Yeah, we got 3. We got
your 3 cameras,
side and
your 2 laptops,
and this one,
your screen, your audio equipment, and
5, 6,
I mean, I would if I had to just estimate, and I know you probably know the raw numbers, but if I had to estimate in my mind and go into this thinking, what would I have to actually pay to get this set up right now? I would with your computers. I would probably say, hold on, let me the number crunch this and see how good I am. I'm really good at math, so I'm going to see if this works. So I'm going to say 3, 4, Probably close to 6,000 is what I would say.
Somewhere between 6,000 and 9,000.
I said a low end because I'm a budget guy,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
so I'm 6,000 minimum,
Right.
and that's on sale. So
Yeah. So
Right.
I don't want to brag about any of it, about what I've spent to put this together and everything, and I'm basically donating the use of it to. There's no way on earth that Preterism Research Institute could have afforded to buy this equipment themselves. That's why, though, we rely upon you to consider donating and helping to support this ministry, because if you're a preterist, you know how important this is to get this message out, and to be able to get it out in a quality manner that's watchable, that's viewable, and your eyes don't hurt and your ears aren't bleeding, to be able to bring it in a quality way that is beneficial, kind of like seasoning your speech.
Yeah.
That's what this technology does. It seasons the speech so that we can impart grace on the hearer. And it really is a wonderful tool, wonderful day we live in. Imagine what the apostles could have done.
Yeah.
They've spread the message over the whole world, and it really makes you appreciate the work that they really did in the first century. And the tools we have now, if we have the ability and the means, and I know we're not a poor country overall by any means. If you have something extra, $1, $10, $5, $20, whatever you feel comfortable with, get a hold of Don Preston on social media. Let him know you want to make a donation. It's really easy to do. He's got it set up through PayPal. His email address is down there in the description. I had to put it in there kind of weird because there's robots on the internet basically that kind of read those automatically and start spamming email addresses. But it's jdon at cable1.net.
Cable1.net, yeah.
Yeah, cable1.net.
Yeah, Jadon, Jadon, which is actually Janice and Don Preston.
Right.
So J.A. is his wife, Janice. If you've never met her, she's an amazing, amazing lady. But Janice and Don, so Jadon at cable1.net.
Yep, and you can just email your donation through PayPal to that email address, and he'll receive that for Preterism Research Institute. And that money will go towards the funding of Preterist Pilgrim Weekend and other things that Don and Preterist Research Institute do all throughout the year, and of course this conference. And bringing speakers here, that's another one of the costs.
Yeah, you're right. So, and I don't minimize this at all because, guys, look, this is the thing. What you just said about the speakers, on top of the cost just for the technology that's here, plus the facility fees. So you have the conference space to provide this conference and to do the conference is in itself its own cost. But you also have the speakers. We pay for their travel, for their hotel, a little bit of food money for them to be able to eat while they're here, that kind of thing. So there's a fee that goes into that as well. Right. But here's the thing. Guys, if a lot of people don't give because they're not asked, right? And a lot of people don't give because they feel like they can only give, a small amount or whatever it might be, and they think that it's, that their gift is going to be a minimal impact, so why bother, right? But here's the thing, like if there's even just 100 people that are out there watching the live stream, that this is really going to benefit. If you benefit from what we're giving away for free, and you really think this is impacting your life, and this is a blessing to you and to the people around you, and it's helping you to be able to make an impact on other people's lives, even if you could give $10 a month or whatever it might be, if you could
like
just
continuing donating.
Because really what I find is it's easier for people to give a small amount over a period of time than even a bigger amount once, right?
And
so
that's an option for you.
Yeah, if you can't give $100 today, or if you can't give $50 today, if you could commit to say, hey, look, I'm going to just give $10 a month. I'll barely miss it. Like literally, that's one time eating out to eat in a month, right?
Yeah.
And that's my sacrifice, and that's going to be my privilege to be able to offer that. But that's $120 a year as a donation. And if literally just 100 people did that, that are out there on the live stream or wherever, anywhere to support ministry, if 100 people donated $10 a month, then that would be, what is that? That's $10,000 or $12,000 a year. That would in 1 year would pay for all of her technology expenses.
Exactly.
Right.
And it would get Don the technology that he could keep down here, that I wouldn't have to transport down for him and risk breaking it.
Right. That would pay for the hotel fees. That would pay for speaker fees. That would pay for all the technology all at once in 1 year. Would cover it. Right.
Yep, exactly.
And everything after that would be helping to expand and continue Don's ministry and all of us being able to participate.
Of course, PRI Ministries has office expenses all throughout the year as well.
Right.
Where he does his work every day. He's there. He's there in his morning musings at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he makes good use out of what the Lord's blessed him with. But he but he also needs needs your support.
Right.
And
in fact, I would even go one step further. And I know nobody has asked me to do this, and I want to make sure very clear you guys understand. This literally just popped into my head right now. Okay, and call it the Holy Spirit if you're a charismatic preterist or whatever. Maybe this is God talking through me. I don't know. But anyway, so this just literally popped in my head. But maybe something that we could try. If you feel throughout this conference at any time that you would like to donate, $10 a month or more, but I'm just going to set it at $10. And if you can only do $5 a month, whatever it might be, but I'm just going to say $10 a month is just a generic, number to throw it out there. Mm-hmm. If you could donate $10 a month, we would like you to either type in the chat room box, PPW #10. If you don't know what a hashtag is, it's the pound symbol, right? Okay. So PPW #10 says you're going to commit to $10 a month for 1 year, for 12 months, right? Okay. For 1 year. And if we can get 100 people, our goal would be to get 100 people, whether it's through the physical right here in the crowd, or whether it's online through the live stream, anybody participating. Okay. If you could commit $10 a month, just that, and we can set that up with Don and show you guys how to either do it through his PRI ministry, like I do it every month. I donate automatically. It just comes out of my check. I don't even notice it. It's just gone. When I get a message that says, hey, you donated, congrats, whatever. Right. And but if you guys would commit to that, even just $10 a month or less or more, whatever you can afford, really, this is all about your cheerful gift. We're not pressuring you. This is not we don't want you to, we're not trying to push you into giving, but if you can afford it, if it's within your ability, type for us, just so we can keep track of. We would try to meet 100 would be our goal. I would say that would be a wonderful goal, because we know at that point that would cover expenses. PPW #10 says in the chat room says you're going to commit. It doesn't say you're going to commit $10, but that's just like a baseline. That just says, hey, I'm going to commit something. I'm going to be willing to commit. So let's start with that. And I want to reemphasize one more thing too. Remember that everybody that comes to this conference and everybody watching online, this is free. There is no charge. We used to charge couples. We had different rates for, discounts if you're military or college students, or, whatever it might be. We used to charge people because we thought that was the only way we could really bring in the fees to pay for the costs associated with it. And we found that offering it for free was really allowed other people that couldn't otherwise come the ability to come. And most people that could come would still come, regardless. So. So again, because it's free, we're not collecting fees at the door. We don't collect any fees for the online stream.
Paywall.
There's nothing. There's no firewall to keep you from watching. There's no restrictions. This is totally free broadcasting.
Right now. This is the channel you're getting.
Anyone can get access to this, whether you believe preterism is heresy or whether you believe that this is a true message or whatever.
7.5
That's right.
That's
right. We're open to subjection. We want everybody to be able to be involved and to have the communication and the dialogue, right? Right. And that's what this is really about, is having that open dialogue to grow and to progress and to learn, right?
Yeah, even if you don't like fulfilled eschatology, and you're listening, comment or not comment, or comment, but also contact any one of the speakers, anyone who's involved in preterism. Preterists are renowned for wanting to get into biblical discussions. As long as it's rational and people are mature about it, we have no problem. In fact, we'll go out of our way to get into this civil discussion about biblical matters.
Yeah, the funny thing about preterism that I find, this is really unique, because the funny thing about preterism is almost all preterists that I found most of them are really good Bible students, regardless of their persuasion or their background or who they are. What I find really fascinating about it is that because they are almost all really good students of the Bible to one degree or another, that they all are really good participants in trying to dig into the history and the languages and all that stuff, right? Which is not common throughout Christianity as a whole, right? But what you find is that because most preterists become preterists, or at least investigating preterism, because of that natural desire to dig and to be a Berean and to learn and all that. That doesn't change people's character and their attitudes, right? Necessarily. No. So you get a smorgasbord of people that come from fundamental, backgrounds to charismatic backgrounds, to outgoing, to laid back, to really passive, to just in your face, blunt, rude, I mean, there are so many different persuasions that you'll find within preterism, and the ones that tend to stick out are the real mean, nasty ones, But that's true within any. And because preterism is more of a niche, topic, and it's more of a narrowed down aspect or or segment of
portion of
Christianity.
that,
Right. Then you're going to see that more often. So
Right.
preterism seems to have like this this label from certain people that you guys are so rash or harsh or whatever, or you're so fundamental, and that's just so not true.
Yeah.
It's really the same no matter what you look at, but you just see those things more because it's a smaller group. It's more of a niche group. So
exactly. So yeah. Looking forward to the speeches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally being able to listen to them instead of having to do the work. I'll be honest, I'm not going to catch any of what they're saying.
You have to go back and watch later.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch later. I'll be pushing buttons over here.
That was me too, man. I was
get the message.
It was so hard for me to watch them and really pay attention because I would be watching 3 different things at once, and I was not getting half of what was being said.
And you know what's funny is even though he can't break his habit, he brought with him a camera, a little webcam, and his laptop sitting from him. He's still gonna record the thing, even though it's not his responsibility.
Yeah, so. You never know. I always come prepared with something. Just think, what if there's an emergency and everything else blows up? I don't know.
The person up front said there was a storm coming through, and she was worried that the electricity would go out if there was a bad thunderstorm. So I'm like, don't tell me that. Please.
Definitely.
I'm not superstitious or anything, but crossing your fingers.
Yeah, right. Well, I just want to say thank you, number one, for being here. I wasn't here last year. That was my first year that I've missed in many years.
Right.
And it was a blessing that resulted in Don finding you and being able to have this happen. And now here you are a second year, and this is just incredible. It's wonderful. I love it.
Jason Black had recommended me actually. I didn't even see the post that Don Preston had put out there last year asking for help for streaming the conference, and Jason Black knew I was a techie geek, I guess.
Right.
And so he recommended me to Don, and Don reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, Jason Black told me that you're good with computers. Do you want to do our live stream?" And I was like, yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Tell me that's not a God thing, that one thing led to the other,
Right. Anyone who says that just because all prophecies fulfilled, that God's no longer working.
Get out of here. Right.
Get out of here. There's too many things that are unexplained.
That's absolutely
That's just
right.
a really basic explanation of that. But,
right.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm gonna still be here, and we're still gonna be going till presentation starts. If we get any other speakers or anyone else that wants to sit down for an interview, I'll bring them on, and you can listen to us chat. I think Daniel Rogers, he just tried calling me on my phone. That's what my phone was ringing. I think he wanted to say something to me, or maybe he wanted to donate $1 million or something like that.
Oh, and by the way, and don't let me forget, and I'm going to do a little bit of a self-pub here.
Okay.
My book, The Millennium.
There you go.
Get it, all right? Get my book, The Millennium. If you haven't read it already, or you haven't done the background work on that, that's one of the most controversial topics within Preterism, aside from the resurrection and the new heavens and earth concept, right? The Millennium was my very first hurdle, along with the resurrection, that I had to really work through to really figure out, this 80-70 stuff and this historical stuff. So, but if you haven't got a good handle, a good grasp on at least one of the major concepts within Preterism, it would be my book, The Millennium, which teaches that 70 or the 40-year concept at 80-70.
Do you have a copy here?
Multiple copies.
Okay, so that's another reason to come next year.
Right.
All right, so if you can't make it this year, there are reasons to come. First of all, you get access to cool shirts.
That's
like
what catch the power of this. That's a Don Preston thing. What's it say? Oh yeah, we are not in the last days. Right.
And so you get T-shirts like that this year. Also, you purchase them. I don't know how much they cost, but we also have a stack full of books in the back of the auditorium of not only all of Don's books, but Glenn Hill's actually got his own table over here, and he's got his book there. He's got books and DVDs from past Predators.
Yeah, plethora of resources, and they're all discounted and tax-free.
Yeah, exactly. And it all goes to PRI, and it's all used for helping to fund this and stuff. And that's the other thing. Your donations, if you do decide to give, if you're able to give, again, PPW #10. If you can give, let us know. But those donations are all tax deductible. So when you give to PRI, it is a tax deductible donation that you can write off on your taxes if you do your itemized taxes. So just so you know that as well. There you go.
All right.
How about that? Well, awesome. Thanks for having the interview with me.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Chad.
I appreciate you sitting down.
Yeah, you
Enjoy the rest of the show.
I will.
And we'll be right back.
All right. God bless, guys. See you later.
Yep. See ya.